Hello everyone. I want to continue our little talk on resistance from yesterday by talking about how we resist in certain ways. One of the amazing quotes that I love from Gabby Bernstein is about how what our ego resists is what our spirit needs most. And I find that one of the things our ego resists the most is love, especially when it comes to loving others, and we do this through judgment. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. I'm Ann Blackwood, your Silicon Valley stage sister, here to bring consciousness to the forefront of your daily life to make life a little kinder and simpler, and I hope I can do that for you today. So, judgment is something that we all experience, even when we don't realize it's judgment. It's really easy to pick out judgment when it's really obvious, of course, in the sense that, oh, I don't like this person's this because of this, or I don't like, this because of this, when it comes to, other people. But we have other little subtle ways we do this. Like pretty much anything that involves anyone else that we dislike is technically a judgment. And I had to come to terms with this because judgment, to some degree, is part of my job when it comes to helping people. I have to make judgments. I have to make assumptions. But what I realized in coming to terms with this was that when it comes to the judgments that I have to make, the assumptions that I have to make, I am always asking them, presenting them as a question to my clients. So I was able to let that go. But what I didn't let go was things like, a great example would be being in the car and being frustrated because someone else was driving in a way in which we didn't find acceptable. But what is acceptable? It's a matter of opinion. And so that's a judgment. Just being frustrated. Oh, this guy is going too slow. Oh, this guy cut me off. Oh, traffic. These are all judgments placed on the world around us, the universe, people around us. And this is our ego resisting being in that vibration of love in the present moment, accepting what is as what is and what should be. And that is the ultimate state of enlightenment that we can start to reach just by having the awareness of any upset, any frustration, any stress, any tension, any anxiety. Anytime we feel a bad feeling come up within us, first of all, being aware of it, and then asking ourselves, what judgment am I making that creates this feeling that this shouldn't be this way? Because that's where the bad feelings come from, is this feeling of something shouldn't be this way. And when we can start to let go of our ideas of what should and shouldn't be, we can get closer and closer to that feeling of love in the present moment. And that is what, from everything I've gathered of the years and years and years that I have been in spiritual practice, that is the ultimate enlightenment that we can reach first and foremost. That is the ultimate awakening we can have first and foremost, is just coming to terms with the present moment as it is and greeting it with love. Which, like I write, which, like I like to remind people, doesn't mean acceptance. But we can accept this is how it is now, and then figure out how to move forward to better with love, rather than any sort of stress or anxiety. So when we come to this present moment with love, it's just taking that moment to accept things as they are, calmly, with compassion and curiosity. And then from there, deciding, moving forward, what would be the best course of action? What would need to be to allow me to move forward to better from here on out? And that might be the decision to do something differently. But first, we have to come to that moment with love and compassion and acceptance that this is what is right now. Because all that we see is in the past already. That's why I love what my spiritual mentor and Caro, Paco, teacher always reminds us of, which is that life is a living memory. Because it is. By the time we have fully digested the moment, it is gone. It is the past. And the future is already the past. So I want to invite everybody to be reminded that even the smallest little moments of stress, of upset, A Course in Miracles uses the word upset, and that's why I've started using it, because in one of the lessons in A Course in Miracles, it reminds us that there is no big or small upset. Anything that takes away from our peace is taking away from our peace. There is no big stress or little stress. It's all something taking away from our peace, our state of peace. As I like to call, building that unshakable peace. And so I want to invite everybody to just start thinking about even those things that seem so small and insignificant, those things that quite literally disappear immediately after you've thought it. You've already released it. But you still have the instinct, the inclination to think it for even a moment. And therefore, it is something to recognize, honor, and release, so that the next time you find yourself in that position, the instinct, the inclination is not one of stress, is not one of upset, but of peace, when you can tune into the love and let go of the judgments. All truth gets a light to it that it didn't have before. And that is this light of love, where no matter what the truth is, it becomes just another step towards enlightenment, towards feeling awake and enlightened. That without it, you're still hiding in the dark. So I want to end this by saying, don't hide from your truth. Don't hide from your truth, because it's only hurting you. It's only hurting you. And the more you can accept your truth, the more you can talk about your truth, get a witness to it, the more the weight of the world that we place on ourselves, the shadows that we cling to ourselves, release. So, along with my invitation to look at how you judge things outside of yourself, I want to invite you to as well spend some time thinking about how you judge yourself, and how can you get a witness on through meditation, journaling, or even seeking out someone to listen. How can you get a witness on the truth that judgment comes from, so that you don't have to feel like that needs to be a judgment anymore? Because I'm telling you, it is the most alleviating thing, enlightening, like literally lightening thing you can do for yourself. Even I have someone that I talk to, and I'm someone people talk to. There's a certain point where we understand that we are all the teacher and we are all the student, and that we all have something to learn from each other. And it just depends on the situation. So, take the time. Take the time. I know it can be scary. I know it can be a little painful at first. But that's the growing pains that I was talking about before. Pushing outside of your comfort zone. You won't regret it if you have the right person to listen. That's one of the biggest things that I realized when getting my life coaching certification while I was getting my degree in psychology, was that sometimes it's not about giving advice. It's just about having someone else sitting there as a sounding board. And I cannot tell you how many times I myself, let alone my clients, have talked themselves through their problem to the solution when they couldn't do that before. I couldn't do that before, because it actually requires talking it out. No amount of journaling, no amount of meditating. There's something about getting all of our senses involved. And this goes for lots of things when it comes to even things like strengthening your memory. Like if you want to learn something, the more senses you can get involved of your 6 senses, the better you will learn something. The more you will learn it, the better you will learn it, the more you will remember it. So this goes for healing as well. And it's amazing. It's amazing. I had a session with the person I have as my witness about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago now. And man, I just needed to scream. And I was afraid to. It was funny because I ended up having to get a pillow and like bury my face in the pillow. And it's not because I didn't want him to see me screaming. It was because I have a neighbor on the other side of my wall that I didn't want to think something was wrong. And so I'm glad that the person that I talked to, he was like, go get a pillow. Just go get a pillow. I can tell you need to scream. Go get a pillow. I was like, okay. But yeah, sometimes we just need a witness on it. Sometimes we just need someone else to talk to. So, yeah, that is my invitation for the day. I want to invite you to notice where there is any even smallest amount of upset in your life. Even if it's just you being annoyed by someone cutting you off in the car. And ask yourself, what judgments do I hold that are making it so that I feel like this shouldn't be happening? And how can I release these judgments? And then I want you to start noticing for yourself, where do you place judgments on yourself? Honor them, and then release them. By simply taking the time to not just be aware that you have placed a judgment on yourself, but just take that little bit of time to figure out where it's coming from, and like anything, recognize what good outcome could come from that. I've been considering making a little self-love mini series on Patreon. We'll see. But let me know in the comments if that sounds like something that you would like to participate in, because I could do that as a live round. Often I do at least the filming of my workshops and courses and mini-series as a live round, even if it's just the once. So if you would like to participate in my self-love workshop, let me know. Because when we can start to recognize how what we consider our flaws actually contribute to the things that are good about us, it makes it a lot easier to relax into loving yourself for who you are in the moment, while still leaving room for change and growth. Because we can love ourselves for who we are right now while still not being satisfied with the idea of staying that way into the future. Just like we can be present in any moment with love while still recognizing that as it is should not carry into the future. And that something could change into the future, recognizing that we cannot change the present moment because it is already in the past, but that we can, moving forward, figure out what we need to do to move forward to better rather than continue on in this way. That is creating resistance. And that might be diving headlong into what you're resistant towards, or it might mean getting away from it. But either way, it's going to be one of the two. And yeah, thank you guys for joining me for another video. May the energies you serve you well. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Click the like button things. links in the description. That includes my Patreon, as well as working with me one-on-one, as well as my link to dōTERRA. So many links in the description you'll definitely want to check out if you're enjoying my videos. And let's keep making our way through. I am, so I know you can too.